When you write that?
All my life.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at details from Bob Marley One Love that remained faithful to Marley's life, as well as significant aspects that were changed or omitted from the biopic. Hopefully you feel all right about spoilers.
All me hear is gunshot. No, I never seen no man who fire a shot.
Number 10. Bob Marley's relationship, or lack thereof, with his father. Right. Bob Marley's father is only briefly seen in flashbacks. Even then, his face is usually concealed. It's established that Marley's father was a white man who didn't stick around to see his son grow up.
Who was Bob's dad?
Well, my grandfather says a man from England, a white man. He used to work with the government, like the forest.
This is essentially the extent of what Marley knew about his father. Even historians have struggled to uncover much information about his distant father, who was named Norval Sinclair Marley. A former construction engineer, Norval enlisted in Liverpool and met Bob's mother, Cedella Malcolm, while supervising a Jamaican plantation.
Then at that time, he see this little girl, and I guess he liked her, and
Norval left shortly after his son's birth, dying by the time Bob was 10. Actress Esther Anderson, who dated Bob, said his father, quote, didn't exist aside from a photo of him on a horse, which this biopic reflects. Number 9. Bob Marley's arrest in London. Right. During his extended stay in London, Marley and a couple of his friends are pulled aside by the police. Marley is subsequently seen relaxing in a jail cell, although he's quickly released. Indeed, Marley was arrested in Ladbroke Grove along with fellow musician Aston Family Man Barrett on March 10, 1977.
The media lied and said that Bob smoked a pound a day. And so everywhere we went, the police was on our heels, and they would search our belongings with a fine-tooth comb.
The film tiptoes around why Marley was brought in, however. Marley was charged and fined £50 for possession of cannabis, which he was no stranger to.
Wake up and turn eyelids.
Outside of an interview question and a few other fleeting moments, One Love doesn't delve that deep into Marley's relationship with cannabis, which he encouraged the legalization of. While Marley got busted on this occasion, he otherwise managed to keep the fuzz off his tail.
Every time they searched, they never found anything.
Number 8. Marley's run-in with Masup and Marshall. Wrong. Following the attempt on his life, Marley runs into Claude Masup, a Jamaican gang leader.
In Tivoli Gardens, Masup was known to be a tough enforcer who was not afraid to discipline anyone who fell out of line.
Masup assures Marley that he wasn't involved in the ambush. This random encounter is unlikely since Masup would have been at Gun Court Detention Center during this time, although he reportedly tried to warn Marley of the impending assassination attempt over the phone. Masup resurfaces later in the film alongside another gang leader, Bucky Marshall. It's suggested that the two approached Marley in London, where they asked him to play in the One Love peace concert. The truth is that Marley flew them out to discuss the event.
Once out of jail, Masup, who knew Bob Marley from his Trenchtown days, flew to London to make him an offer he could not refuse, and he did not.
Masup and Marshall went on to organize the concert, but the film neglects to mention that they died 2 years later.
A reported 15,000 persons attended Masup's funeral in West Kingston.
Number 7. Nobody died in the assassination attempt. Right. It's not unknown for biopics to culminate in a late legend's assassination. Those who go into One Love with little knowledge about Bob Marley might be surprised to see the film open with an attempt on his life.
On December 3, 1976, would-be assassins invaded Bob Marley's home and attempted to take the life of the singer, his wife, and...
Don't worry about that.
They'll be even more shocked to learn that nobody died in this assassination attempt, although there were some close calls. Marley got hit twice in his left arm and chest. The armed attackers also shot Marley's wife Rita in the driveway, his manager Don Taylor, and band employee Louis Griffiths.
And I'm shouting out for Bob, and then I heard a voice who I recognized as Carly Barrett coming from. He says, "Bob is all right. Bob is all right."
There were other people at the Marley household that night where they were ironically rehearsing I Shot the Sheriff, according to keyboardist Tyrone Downey. Thankfully, nobody else took a bullet, and the ones who did all survived.
It's just a miracle, man, that nobody died from that, man.
Number 6. Bob Marley beat up Don Taylor. Right. The gunshots to his legs and torso might have been the most critical injury that Don Taylor endured as Marley's manager, but this wasn't the end of his pain. While touring Africa, Marley got into a physical altercation with Taylor over a financial dispute.
Il était choqué que pour la première fois qu'il met pied en Afrique, que quelque chose comme ça arrive.
The confrontation between Marley and Taylor is depicted in One Love, although according to eyewitnesses, it lasted much longer than what we see in the film. According to art director Neville Garrick, Marley questioned Taylor on tape for nearly 3 hours, while guitarist Junior Marvin remembers the manager getting held out the window.
We were on the 23rd floor and they kind of held Don outside the window for a minute.
Although the movie implies they reconciled, Taylor claimed Marley made him terminate their contract at gunpoint. The song Bad Card is also said to be based on Taylor. Number 5. The extent of Bob and Rita Marley's affairs. Wrong. One Love doesn't ignore the fact that Bob and Rita Marley had extramarital affairs, although it waters down just how open their marriage was.
The fact that Bob was not a one-woman man was common knowledge, says Don Taylor, even though he had been married to Rita Anderson throughout his climb to the top of the musical ladder.
The couple had 3 children together. Bob adopted 2 of Rita's children, one from a past relationship and another from an affair with soccer player Owen Italtaki Stewart. While married to Rita, Bob fathered children with at least 6 other women, but it could be more. His most high-profile affair was with Miss World 1976 Cindy Breakspear, who gave birth to Bob's son Damien in 1978.
I don't think there's a man alive who doesn't want to get the girl. So
It's debatable whether the affairs were generally accepted or if they resulted in the jealous blowout portrayed in the film. Either way, Bob and Rita's relationship was even more complex than the film indicates.
You didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and it really hurts to be alone.
Number 4. Rita Marley's dreadlocks saved her life. Right. Of the 4 people who got shot at the Marley residence on December 3, 1976, Rita probably had the closest brush with death.
Then they turned the gun on the car.
As depicted in the film, Rita was in the car when she got shot. Resting her head on the steering wheel, Rita thought she was dead. It wasn't until blood ran down her head that Rita realized she was still alive. She almost certainly would have been that night's one fatality had it not been for her hair.
A gunman shot at Rita from the passenger seat. The bullet grazed her scalp and left her bloodied, but alive.
It's been said that Rita's dreadlocks were so thick that they reduced the impact of the bullet. According to Bob and Rita's son Ziggy, the bullet was only an inch away from his mother's brain. Rita recovered, but it was literally by a hair. Number 3. Smile Jamaica Concert. The show must go on. Right. The assassination attempt took place only 2 days before the Smile Jamaica Concert. This event was already seen as a risky venture with political tensions in Jamaica on the rise.
The whole thing about whether the concert was going to happen or not, there was so much pressure. There was pressure from everywhere.
Even after getting shot over his, quote, politically progressive music, Marley didn't back out. While still recouping from his injuries, Marley performed before a crowd with nearly 80,000 in attendance.
If somebody wanted to try to get you, it's like a perfect situation.
He wasn't the only one who made a miraculous comeback. Only a few hours after being discharged, Rita showed up in her hospital gown, prepared to sing backup. About an hour and a half into the performance, Marley showed his gunshot wound to the audience, saying, quote, "Bang bang, I'm okay."
More Jamaican love than a man who just survived a gunfight.
Yeah!
One Love captures Marley's unbreakable spirit, but he wasn't invincible. Number 2. Bob Marley didn't receive treatment for cancer. Wrong. In the movie, Marley sees a doctor about what appears to be a toe injury. He's diagnosed with melanoma, but One Love skips over much of this experience, suggesting that Marley did little to treat it. While Marley objected to having an amputation, he would have the nail and nail bed removed after visiting multiple doctors.
A lot of people told Bob that once you cut your toe off, your big toe especially, you won't be able to dance anymore.
Although the surgery was viewed as a success, that unfortunately wasn't the case. As Marley continued to perform, his health began to decline. It was discovered that the cancer had spread across his body, forcing Marley to end his tour early.
He had cancer all over his body. lungs, brain, would go all over the place. It was incredible that he was able to keep working.
After consulting doctors in New York and Miami, Marley went to Germany for an alternative cancer treatment. This proved ineffective, with Marley dying on May 11, 1981.
Serve the living, God and live.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Bob Marley sought peace through his music. Right. One Love might not get into the nitty-gritty of Marley's political views, but it does convey his desire to bring unity through musical harmony.
You can't separate the music and the message.
'Cause every day we pay the price.
And what is the message?
Sacrifice.
Peace.
Prime Minister Michael Manley endorsed the Smile Jamaica concert in hopes of easing tensions between the People's National Party and Jamaica Labour Party. After the attack on his life, Marley continued to send a peaceful message through his 9th studio album, Exodus. This set the stage for the One Love Peace concert, as Jamaica was on the brink of civil war. The heads of the two opposing parties, Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, would join hands with Marley. This gesture didn't bring an end to the ongoing violence, but it summed up the message that Marley strived to get across.
If you lacked faith before then, you could not deny it after that, man.
Are you a Bob Marley fan? Let's remember him in the comments and feel all right.
You know, Bob talking to you, don't have no doubt. See?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.